Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning into the video today as we talk about the new HBO series for Harry Potter. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, before we jump straight into the video, wanted to let you guys know we are free travel agents and specialize in Disney, Universal, Royal Caribbean, you name it. So if you want to go down and see the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, reach out to us for your next set of magical memories. We greatly appreciate it. And if you guys could hit that subscribe button or the like button if you enjoy the content, that would be greatly appreciated as well. Now let's get back to the video. Hey everybody, so the HBO series of Harry Potter. We didn't really want to make this video. It's something that we've been trying to push off, didn't really want to discuss. But there's just been too much information, too much stuff coming through now to kind of give us an idea of what we're looking at here. And we really want to talk about, is the series setting itself up for success or is it setting itself up for failure? And there's a lot of things coming through, a lot of information about it as we get throughout these projects, as they get closer and closer to really paint that picture of what we're going to see. First off, we'll talk about, the sets, how this is going to look, right? Is it going to look professionally done? Is it going to look crisp and nice? Yes, it is. It's going to be good. They're building a lot of the sets, okay? Privet Drive, they're building out the entire community there. They're building out, the greenhouse and all this stuff. So they're doing a lot of physical sets that they are building out on location, which is really nice to see. I think it's going to have a good tone to it. It's going to have a good look to it. So the shooting's going to be done well. The visuals are going to be good. I think that we have a lot of confidence in that. And looking at the history, guys, we're going to look at the Fantastic Beasts series. And a lot of people would say, oh, Fantastic Beasts series was awful. It was garbage. Well, no, the whole thing was not garbage. Don't sit and do that. The first Fantastic Beasts movie was great. People loved it. It did really well in the box office. The acting was great. The world building that we got to expand the universe of Harry Potter was fantastic. Without a doubt, it was absolutely amazing. The second one was good as well. It gave more backstory to some characters we knew, like Dumbledore and stuff. It did, have some hiccups here and there with, content or continuity issues and things like that. But overall, it did well. And if you look at it, what's the things that were different about those as opposed to the third, which absolutely killed the franchise? And the big thing, in our opinion, there's multiple things, but the big thing is JK Rowling was a sole screenwriter for the first two movies. And that is something that is, I think it's huge for any IP, any franchise. When you have the actual writer, the actual person who, created this world, you want them there to head this up. That's like if you had an Avatar without James Cameron. It's not going to look the same. It's not going to feel the same, right? And I think that's really what happened here. And it's not just because the look and stuff. I mean, you can do a lot with CGI and technology now. You can make the right look for a lot of things, which is why we think the series is going to look really well. But the problem is she became a co-writer. And what happens today, and we see this in a lot of different franchises, Star Wars has done this now, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings on Amazon did this. You get these people who are coming in, they're art style directors, they're art focused people, and they're filming things from an Oscar standpoint, these award shows and things like that. You have two different types of films out there, guys. Let's be honest here. The films that win Oscars and awards and all that stuff, they're not the ones that are paying the bills for Hollywood. They're not the ones who's putting bread on the table for the Actors Guilds and things like that and keeping the industry going and living and thriving. Okay, what's doing that is the entertainment. It's the ones that you won't get the awards, but the ones that make the most money in the box office. Okay, it's all about lighting and looking at the drama and close-ups of people's faces. Woo! Let's see that emotion. Oh, let's see the cries and the cringe. Let's really get into that. It's art. It's not entertainment. They get away from entertainment. And I think too much right now, we're seeing too many people that do that. Because literally, nobody, even JK Rowling, did not care about Albus Dumbledore's relationship with Gellert Grindelwald. It wasn't even in the books. It wasn't even there. She had to sit and talk about this outside of the books because it didn't matter to the plot. It didn't matter to the story. It didn't matter to the world as a whole that we were watching, that we wanted to see and get immersed in. That's like if I sit there and say, hey, I want to watch Die Hard, and my wife puts on Twilight. We're not there to watch Twilight, guys. Harry Potter's not Twilight. We don't want to see that. And it pulled people out. It pulled them out. It ejected them. I'm not gonna want to go watch a Fast and Furious movie and all of a sudden see Vin Diesel singing in a musical. Why do I talk about this? Why am I bringing this up? Is this something that's going to happen? Well, yeah, there's a few things going on that gives us some reason to pause for this. Okay, first off, look at the writer. Okay, the writer is Andy Greenwald, I believe it is. So, Andy Greenwald is a writer on the series, and he said that the idea of an incredibly rigorous text-to-screen adaptation is, I think, probably a safe bet for a success. Great, everybody's cheering, everybody's excited. Yeah, come on, golf clap, everything. But then he continues and claimed that he did not like the idea of a rigorous adaptation of JK Rowling's books, despite admitting that it would be successful. Furthermore, he admitted to not even finishing reading all the books. This is the thing that gives us the most pause. This is the thing that upsets us the most right now with the writing. Because when's the last time that we saw people coming in who said, you know what, yeah, we have stuff here, but you know what, I don't want to do that. I want to do my own thing. I'm going to do me. We saw this with the Acolyte and what Leslie Headland did. And how did that go? It didn't go all that well. And I think because it deviated so much from what the fans want, what they care about, you're forcing social, political, things, agendas in there because it's about you. It's about you and what you want and your stamp on the legacy and all this stuff. It's somebody piggybacking on someone else's work and running with it. It's like in Jurassic Park when Ian Malcolm said,
"You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it."
He doesn't know what he has. He hasn't read the books. He hasn't read the source material. How are you going to be in a position for success for this? You're not. You're absolutely not. So this is very upsetting to see, and it's something that definitely gives us pause. Now, is that the end all be all? No, absolutely not. There's definitely some good things about this. Take a look at John Lithgow. Okay, great actor, amazing actor. He was in Harry and the Hendersons. That's what I remember him from. And he played the voice of Lord Farquaad from Shrek. He's a great voice actor. He's got a great presence. He's got a good, wholesome feel to him. I think he will be a very good Albus Dumbledore. The big thing that John Lithgow said in his interview was that he has never met JK Rowling, and she is not a part of this project. Guys, what did we not learn from Fantastic Beasts? She was a co-writer, and in the third one, it sucked because she was a co-writer. That's concerning, and removing her from this, regardless of how you feel about somebody personally, and regardless of how you feel about her personally, okay? If you go to an auto shop and get your car fixed, does that mean that the guy fixing your car, you believe every single thing that they think? What if you're a Christian and they're an atheist? You don't know that, but you're allowing their work to be done. You are accepting their work. If I go watch Harry Potter, that doesn't mean I'm accepting every single thing that JK Rowling personally believes. Why do people do that? That's absolutely ridiculous. It's the product that people care about and the affinity. We got to get to that when it comes to these films and stuff like that, guys. We really got to get back to that. So she created this amazing world for kids and families and adults, and we need to embrace that instead of sitting there saying, oh, we're going to boycott this because of her personal beliefs. That has nothing to do with her work. It's not written in her work. There's nothing about that there. You can't take George Lucas out of Star Wars and have it be the exact same thing. That's what we've seen. You're doing the same thing here with Harry Potter when you're removing J.K. Rowling. Why do we even have a writer like Andy Greenberg when you have someone who already wrote the books? I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. And the last thing that we'll touch on, guys, I know everybody's going to want to hear about this, hear our thoughts on this. We talked about casting with John Lithgow. Great guy, whatever. Papa Asidu. A lot of drama going on around this when it comes to casting. I think there's a few reasons why people feel the way they feel, whatever. We're not going to touch on that. And obviously there are some people out there who are awful people, and that's just how it is. You're never going to rid the world of that. Papa Asidu, he's a good actor. I have nothing wrong with the actor. I think he's going to be fine. He's a British actor, and, that's great that they're sticking to the heritage there. But the problem is you had such an iconic, amazing actor doing that role, and he nailed it perfectly in the original films, okay? And I think what's going to happen is no one can live up to that. When it comes to this casting, guys, you've got something that's deeper than the first layer, okay? I think everybody's focused on the first layer of this. Oh, well, people are mad because they're being diverse and they're casting diverse characters and stuff like that into Harry Potter. I don't... Granted, yes, there are people who think that, and there are some people out there who are like that, sure. But to me, the reason I'm not a fan of this, besides the fact that clearly in the book, he's the opposite in appearance of what they've casted, that's minor to me. You can get past that. There's plenty of characters you could race swap, and it wouldn't be that big of an issue. You could even do Albus Dumbledore if you needed to. You could do Hagrid. You could do Lockhart. The list goes on of the people that you could race swap, and it wouldn't be a problem. I think the thing here that's the problem that people haven't thought about, maybe they have in their subconscious, and that's the reason why they're so averse to this, is think about what the character is and what happens. This is a young boy who meets a girl. He gets abandoned by that girl for a bully, someone who picks on him and is mean to him, and she goes and bees with the bully, the mean kid, and his friends who pick on him and are mean to him. And you can kind of look past that. That kind of, it just happens in school, whatever, not a big deal. And people can still love James Potter and still grow to know he's Harry's dad, and they can appreciate him. They can appreciate Lupus, or they can appreciate Lupin. They can appreciate Sirius Black. They can appreciate those characters who are protagonists later on that we're supposed to love. The problem here is that now, because of who you've casted in this role, you have now inserted racism into the Harry Potter franchise. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Again, think about the character. Now you have, instead of James Potter picking on, Professor Snape because he's just a poor kid, now you have James Potter picking on a poor black kid. A poor black Snape. And you have Lily Potter, who everybody loves. I mean, one of the most sacrificing people from a protagonist standpoint in the Harry Potter franchise. Now she selects to go with the white racist James Potter because he picked on Snape. She goes with him instead of being with the poor black Severus Snape. So it's now she could appear racist to people. And I think there is the deeper problem here. You are inserting this, diversity and this race swap into an area where the people who really care about this, think about it. John Boyega and other people have come out and said, they're really upset about people being mad about this casting. I don't think they're understanding beyond the basic level here what's going to happen. I think you're setting up putting real world issues, real world problems into this show that people want to watch to escape the real world. And so I think you're introducing racism into Harry Potter. And I think that's the thing that's a risk. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it definitely can come off that way, and people could definitely see it that way. So to me, that's the concern in this casting. That's the thing that's the deeper problem, is you've got protagonists that now you're going to tarnish these people you're supposed to root for later. How are you going to be able to do that when you see them as being young adults that are being racist to someone? But anyway, our overall thought, it's going to look great, sure. But I think they've made issues already. I think the writer, having not read it and everything, I just think that they're going down the wrong route here, guys. They're going to spend time on things that don't matter. It's going to be too much artsy stuff. It's not going to be focused on entertainment, and that's what people are watching it for. So, we think they are setting themselves up for failure. I think they are setting themselves up for failure. I think they are in a situation where they have a writer who doesn't know what he's writing about. He hasn't read the books. He hasn't read the source material. You're removing the original author. You've got cast saying that she's not a part of this, and essentially you're going to go away from the original core content. That's the thing that's upsetting to us. That's the thing that's worrisome, in our opinion, is what are you doing with the core content? What are you doing with the things that the viewers want to see, the fans want to see? I think they're going to be going away from this. They're going to be inserting things that could be looked at as being racist in the films, and I think that's only going to have the chance to affect negatively. That's the thing. I think it's only going to be a negative effect in the long run, and so I don't know. I think they're ultimately setting themselves up for failure. This doesn't mean that I think it's going to be a failure. It's going to be a massive hit, especially in the beginning. The first season's probably going to be, super high viewership and stuff like that. But every episode, every season, there's going to be drop off, and I think it's going to be because of these things. I think it's not going to stay true to the core material, the core content. They're going to have things that are social and political that pop up throughout time over this, and I think it's going to take away from the films. So, let us know what you guys think. Do you think this is going to be done really well? Do you think it's going to replace the movies in your opinion? Super excited for this series. We still want to watch it, still want to see it. We think, there's a chance for it to be really good, but they're definitely giving themselves an uphill battle in this. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you guys on the next video, and remember, Christ is King.